Tom Downey here for Titans Today. We are in a like battle this month against our rivals over at Texans. They even stole our name branding. What a bunch of clowns over there. Now, they had a video go out this month already, so we're playing catch-up here. 8 versus 119. Let's take them down like today's video for me. Let's start with some ideas from Sports Illustrated. They kind of went into the Tee Higgins conversation. I'll give them some credit here. I thought when I clicked the headline, this is going to be about trading for Tee Higgins. Wasn't really what they focused on. It was more next offseason, so I'll give them some credit there because a trade isn't going to happen right now. The Bengals have no desire to flip Tee Higgins. They're trying to win games right now, getting a future whatever draft pick that might not be a first, since I don't know if Tennessee wants to part with that right now. It just doesn't make sense for any of the parties involved. Next offseason, I'm intrigued by that one. That one could happen. There's the obvious Brian Callahan connection involved there, the possibility of still needing wide receiver help even after paying big money for Calvin Ridley. But of course, this also depends on how the 2024 campaign goes. If Tennessee plays great and, Treylon Burks takes a huge step forward, receiver's not a need. If they play really badly and the quarterback's not it, well, that might be a different focal point of conversation and wouldn't lead to spending big money on a wide receiver. The Titans wide receiver room for 2024, I think, is in pretty good shape. You have Calvin Ridley, who's looked really good at OTAs. Nuke Hopkins there is your reliable veteran, a really good number 2. Boyd can handle the slot stuff. You have upside pieces like Treylon Burks, maybe a Kyle Phillips. Jaquan Jackson will be a nice special teamer for you. So you're in good shape right now. Next year, Boyd's on a 1-year deal. Hopkins might not be back. His contract is up as well. I think NWI is on a 1-year deal. He's also not guaranteed a roster spot this year. Treylon Burks, if he didn't take a step forward, it's impossible to trust him. And all of a sudden, you go from in good shape for a year to, hey, we got one receiver we trust under contract. And that's how it starts to make some sense for Higgins as a potential free agent target as the Titans get into the long-term status of, okay, what does the contract space look like? What does our salary cap space look like? I'll make note, also worth mentioning, Tennessee's in fine shape for now. They don't have the most salary cap space available. They're projected to have $28 million, but that's very fungible and manageable, and they can restructure guys like Harold Landry and Jeffrey Simmons pretty easily, and it's kind of already built into adjust Calvin Ridley's contract after a year, and L'Jarius Sneed, and all of a sudden, they could have $50 million or more if they wanted to, with not that many big-name guys under contract. So do you want the Titans to add Tee Higgins and put him on the roster? This is, again, probably next year. But A for add, P for pass. It is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes on YouTube, it's fine. Ignore it. Go vote A or P. Now, part of the conversation here is, okay, what does the contract look like here? Because the highest paid wide receivers have changed pretty drastically in really a calendar year. There was a point where the Calvin Ridley deal was fringe top 10, and now it's Debo's at 10, and then it's Michael Pittman and Terry McLaurin, and then it's Calvin Ridley, and he's barely even top 15 at this time. And by the time the season kicks off, he probably won't be top 15, or at least he'll be 15th. They'll get bumped down by guys like Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, and then eventually Jamar Chase. That's allegedly what Higgins wanted, was the Pittman deal. I don't know if that's as possible. It's probably going to approach $25 or more $1 million price tag right there. Also is worth mentioning the guaranteed, that's always a big deal for Higgins' agent, David Mulgeta. Guaranteed money, guaranteed money, guaranteed money. Bigger differences here, right? $84 million is the highest. Jalen Waddle got $76. Devonta Smith, in kind of a weird deal, got $70 million. Ridley only got $50. That is outside the top 10 pretty comfortably, with Debo getting $58 million. Nico Collins got $52. Keenan Allen a long time ago got $50. Pittman got $46. So I think figuring out exactly how much Tee Higgins will get a year later is different. The Pittman contract then, which was, I guess, feels a long time ago, was only a couple months ago, was $23.33 million per year with $46 million total guaranteed. That's not that much money, but I think another year removed, a salary cap going up, all these other wide receiver deals getting done, I think that price starts to look a little bit too low for Higgins. And at that point, maybe the price tag doesn't make sense for Tennessee. Now you can get your J.C. Latham jersey, the Titans' first-round pick at right tackle, over at chatsports.com/Latham. The link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. It is the official NFL jersey, so if you want to rep the offensive line with the new 55 jersey, get yours today over at chatsports.com/Latham. Let's talk offense some more here. Tyjae Spears setting the bar pretty high for himself and fellow back Tony Pollard for this upcoming season, saying, quote, "We are just pushing each other, trying to make each other better. I want to see both of us in the top 5 rushing, top 5 best backs this year." So those are two different things. Both guys being in the top 5 of rushing, it's really unlikely. That's asking way too much of two guys who would have to have massive workloads to get there. However, I do think this duo, Spears and Pollard, can be a dangerous duo and a highly explosive duo as well, generate big plays. And it's not Derrick Henry. It's very different, but I think he can still have plenty of success. So this running back room, highlighted by Spears and Pollard, how do you rank this running back room for Tennessee? Is it in the top 5? Is it a little bit lower? Sound off for me in the comment section right now. Both guys got used fairly heavily in a pass-catching role. Spears was more efficient in everything he did, although that is a change from what we saw from Pollard previously. Pollard in 2022 and even 2021 was one of the more hyper-efficient backs in football. Speed, big playability, was a little bit slow coming off the injury last year when he had the fractured leg and the tightrope surgery on his ankle. And then if we're being honest here, the Cowboys' offensive line did not do a good job. You know, Pollard was among the league leaders in yards after contact down the stretch last year, but he was averaging about 4.2 yards per carry because the O-line scheme was not a good fit. I think with Callahan calling the plays, it'll be a lot better for Tennessee. And I think this duo, Spears and Pollard, although it might not be everyone's favorite fantasy duo, is going to be a very good real-life running back duo. Make life easier on Will Levis. More on him, by the way, in a moment. But I want to make sure you guys are subscribed to Titans Today. We're going to keep doing videos for you guys. I will handle it because someone has to hear Chat Sports, and I care. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/Titans Today. Now, Sports Illustrated also explored the idea of Dak Prescott to Tennessee in 2025, specifically mentioning if Will Levis does not break out. Here was the pitch. If Prescott's a free agent, which might happen, the Cowboys are cowboying in a bad way, and Levis' struggles continue, the Titans could become a landing spot for the Cowboys quarterback. The Titans are one of the soundest teams financially in the NFL, and they have a desire to want to compete sooner than later. Adding Prescott instead of playing it out with Levis or drafting a rookie would certainly fast-track the team's path to the playoffs, and the Titans should at least look at the possibility if the Cowboys are ready to move on. Here are my thoughts here. I don't disagree with that. If that scenario unfolds, okay. It's also a pretty big hypothetical. We're kind of skipping over a lot to jump to that of if he's a free agent, if Levis is bad, if he hits the open market, if Levis doesn't show promise, blah, blah, blah. I would rather focus. I know it's June. There's not much going on. I get that. I would rather focus on Levis and his future and if he can become a franchise guy and worry about that stuff later. You know, that is a December conversation. And it might not even be one if Dallas ends up getting a deal done anyway, which maybe they will, maybe they won't. So I saw a contraction. I wanted to mention it. I would say let's put it on the back burner. And that is a future Titans problem or solution that I'm frankly not worried about right now. So do you believe in Will Levis then as the Titans franchise QB? Y for yes, N for no. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comments section. Of notes here, PFF listing Dillon Radunz as the team's top breakout candidate for the Titans in 2024. I think it'd be really nice, and I think we'd all agree, if one of the Titans offensive linemen on the right side of the line broke out this year. That could be Nicholas T. Friere, that could be Radunz, could be Sidney Charles, could be Daniel Brunskill, whatever. Somebody has to emerge. I thought Radunz did do a good job as a run blocker last year. I think there needs to be growth in the passing game. In theory, honestly, a new scheme will actually benefit the passing game, maybe more than that. There are 3 starters locked in. J.C. Latham, Skoronski, who I'm excited for in this new offense, and Lloyd Cushenberry. The right side, I don't know. I'll put Brunskill and MPF on there, but it could be Sadiq Charles. It could be Dillon Radunz. Hell, it could be Jalen Duncan for all we know. So I wouldn't even worry too much for like who's in what order at right guard, right tackle. Total unknown. It would be nice if one of the offensive linemen broke out, but I'm kind of surprised that Will Levis wasn't the pick here. That was like the free square, right? The young quarterback has the breakout year. I think that would be the most obvious breakout candidate for Tennessee. A little surprised he wasn't picked.